Hey ladies and gents, and welcome to a gameplay review of Pro Evolution Soccer 2021, and we'll be doing some PES 2020 comparisons, and hopefully I'm going to help you guys decide whether this game is worth a buy or whether to skip it and wait until PES 2022. PES 2021 is largely PES 2020 at its core, but there are some subtle changes which have a big impact on the gameplay, and in my opinion have a large positive impact. So my first impression was that the gameplay felt so much more responsive, and we're going to be taking a close look at why that might be. So this is a clip from PES 2020, and I want you to focus on Martial's legs and look at the animation speed, and then now compare it to PES 2021, and I believe his feet seem to be moving a lot quicker. So that would suggest to me that there's more animations, therefore it feels more fluid and more responsive. So if we look at the Finesse Dribble using the right analog stick, this is PES 2020, and you can see the ball moving quite slowly, whereas if we compare that to PES 2021, and as Robbie Ron said, that he felt the right stick, the Finesse Dribbling was more responsive, you can see here it clearly is. So big thumbs up to Konami for sort of increasing the fluidity and responsiveness of the left and right sticks. So here I was comparing PES 2020 to PES 2021 in terms of the shot power, and one of the things I didn't pick up on was this swerve away from the goal. And then as I started to play more games, I realized that actually there seems to be a lot more shot variation in terms of the misses. They seem to be a little bit more wild, where they sort of swerve wide, as we're seeing here from Bruno Fernandes. And also this wild shot from Sandra after the body feint, which is still one of the most effective skills. And there'll also be an in-depth tutorial on the best skills in PES 2021. One of the big reasons that PES 2021 feels so much more responsive is that in comparison to PES 2020, the player selection is so much better and so much more improved. Not just with the left bumper to switch players, but also using the right analog stick, as what you're seeing here as well. It no longer feels like you're wrestling with the controller to switch players. Robbie Ron did actually mention about the collisions, and I definitely found that the game became more physical, as you're sort of seeing here, players sort of falling over each other, and I really did enjoy that. And for the most part, the referees got most of the fouls spot on, but I think it would take a few more weeks of playtime to confirm that. But overall, I'm really enjoying it and haven't had any issues with the fouls being called. The skills are more responsive, so you can see here I leave it to the last second before performing the skill, drawing the foul. And with all the controls feeling more responsive in terms of the Finesse Dribble, the skills, the left analog stick, you can draw fouls quite easily because you can see the sort of challenges coming and react to it before they actually happen. Whereas some of the other skills that weren't so responsive, you had to sort of preempt. So now let's turn our attention and focus to the artificial intelligence, so the CPU and how it behaves. And I found them to be much more sort of aggressive in the tackle. So I did find myself receiving more fouls during a match in comparison to PES 2020, but still probably not enough. Something that really stood out for me in terms of the AI was the amount of pass errors and sort of loose passes, where it sort of gives you a chance to get on the end of things, even on the higher difficulties in Superstar and Legend difficulties, and they wouldn't be afraid to have a shot from range. And you will still notice that dynamic AI difficulty where you may be a couple goals ahead and they pull one back, but look at this absolute stunning strike from William from range. And that's what I was saying, you will find that they will take those sort of longer shots on from the edge of the box. But it's not all good news. There are still some AI awareness issues. I mean, just look at this here. As I send it a manual cross, it's sort of David Luiz picks it up, tries to pass it to his player, but his player's not even facing the ball. Well, he sort of is, but it just sort of hits his legs and bounces into my path. And there are still occasions where your players just simply don't know where the ball is, as you're going to be seeing here as Dybala sort of loses track of the ball. But it's still a massive improvement over PES 2020. It looks like Konami have nerfed the shielding, and I'm actually all for that. As you're seeing here, Messi just getting pushed off the ball relatively easily. And why am I for that? Well, it will stop the AI passing the ball into their striker, shielding your big centre-back off with Aguero turning and shooting into the goal. So unless you've got a big, strong striker up front, I'd recommend laying the ball off as soon as you can. And I just think that's going to make for a better game. It's going to make the sort of attack versus defence much more exciting and be more balanced. So with all that responsiveness, which is fantastic, the first touch is still relatively heavy. And I'm sort of happy about that, because I think if it wasn't, it would be just too easy to manoeuvre the ball around and keep and retain possession of the ball. So you're seeing here a number of players taking a pretty heavy first touch, and you're going to sort of see both teams losing possession and winning it back, as you're sort of seeing here. And then watch this touch from even Ronaldo. He's a little bit tired, but that touch there, a little bit heavy. So if you preempt those first touches to be heavy, it allows you just to get back in and make some splendid tackles. I also noticed that the goalkeepers don't seem quite so superhuman. Look at this finesse shot from here, being parried by Neuer. And then this manual effort by Sandro, the sort of keeper, gets back in position. But it's not like he just sort of catches it. He palms it away for a corner. And then here, another one, just tipped around the post. Next up is I feel the need for speed, baby. So here, what I found is that even a player with Martial, I think his speed is and acceleration is around 88. But look at this, he picks up the ball, he's able to turn and sprint towards goal, and no defender can get anywhere near him. So speed definitely looks to be a little bit overpowered this year, and it probably will be nerfed in the next data pack. But I hope not. One other thing I really like is that the AI no longer seem to telegraph your skill moves. Before, they used to read them, but I think with the increased responsiveness, it's harder for the AI to actually read what you're going to do. But the problem with having all this goodness, the responsiveness and everything like this, it's going to be fantastic for online, I've got to admit. But as an offline player, I found Superstar way too easy, and Legends still challenging, but not as challenging as it was in PES 2020. So you may want to increase your difficulty by 1. So whatever you were in PES 2020, increase it. And what I love about PES 2021 is the full control. If you want to take the ball, flick it up, spin the defender, and then hit a volley all in one movement, you can absolutely do that. The best way to describe PES 2021 is that you have the controller at your fingertips again. You're no longer wrestling with the controller like you were in 2020. This feels so much more responsive, fluid in terms of movement, finesse dribble and skills. And as a whole package, I'm thoroughly enjoying PES 2021. Please, Konami, do not change a thing. Leave it as it is with the data packs, please. I've been really enjoying it. What about you guys in the comments? Let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon in my next video. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.